Herbio, what we do is we are specialists in the personalization of supplements for women's hormone health, really focusing on tailoring the blends to the woman's unique needs and the symptoms that they experience due to hormonal imbalances.
With menopause, the hormone balances that shift, which increases your risk of urinary tract infection.
Hello, everyone. Today, my podcast guests are Ellina and Emily from Herbio. Ladies, thank you for joining us. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your company.
Well, thank you so much for having us, Carl. So I'm Ellina, founder and CEO of Herbio.
And I'm Emily. I'm also a co-founder and I am the Chief Product Officer over here at Herbio.
Yes.
Awesome.
So at Herbio, what we do is we are specialized in the personalization of supplements for women's hormone health, specifically really focusing on tailoring the blends to the woman's unique needs and the symptoms that they experience due to hormonal imbalances. So that would be like PMS, endometriosis. We also do focus on menopause and UTIs, amongst other blends that we can create. We have the capability to create over 20,000 types of combinations through the unique supplements that we have. And what we are trying to do is really just revolutionize how we approach personalized care for women.
That's awesome. I mean, so a lot of questions here. Number one, you mentioned UTIs, I believe. I definitely want to know how, hormones impact UTIs. Number two, like, where do you mentioned, like, many supplements. I want to understand, like, where do you guys source these from? Like, and tell us, like, I mean, obviously, you guys, I know that you guys are located in California, correct? So
Yes.
I'm sure you guys are all about, like, natural, organic, being green. So I want to hear more about that part as well.
Yeah, I can answer a few of those questions. With urinary tract infections, if you think about, for example, the menopause population or perimenopause, we're talking women commonly in the 40 to 50-ish age bracket. And with menopause, with the hormone balances that shift there can be issues with your pelvic floor. And for example, you may not be urinating fully, and you're keeping that urine within your bladder, which increases your risk of urinary tract infection. And just a background, my knowledge of this is through being a nurse. So I understand the clinical data and the science behind it. And with our blend, we are able to source these amazing micro tablets, is what it looks like, from Germany. So that's where our supply is from. These micro tablets are potent with the specific ingredients that every woman gets in their blend. So say they have issues with UTIs plus menopause, their specific blend has ingredients that will help target the symptoms that they have with UTIs. And it could also be that they have issues with bloating, heavy menstrual cycles. And we're validated through real user experience. Some of my coworkers have taken our blends specifically for menopause issues, and real-time feedback after a month of just taking our supplements, they're able to sleep better because they're not urinating in the middle of the night due to the fact they can fully empty their bladder, and they're having reduced bloating and lighter periods. All of this results in a higher quality of life and better day-to-day function for these women.
That's
So
awesome.
we're so proud that we can help people get control of their health.
I mean, listen, that's amazing. I just learned so much in these last 30 seconds. I mean, so that being said, do you feel like most women are aware of this? Because I feel like it's just the norm. People will just say, hey, you know what, this is how it is, and I just have to deal with it. I feel like, there's a lack of awareness around the hormone imbalance. Is that, would you guys agree?
I guess to some extent, this is something that we are dealing with on a daily basis, where women in general are familiar with hormonal health just due to the fact that at a very early age, like in their teens, a lot of women start taking the pills. And so they already have heard of terms of like estrogen, progesterone, how those
Hmm.
impact your fertility, or just because of the onset of your period. That's something that you're already kind of more familiar with. But when it comes to hormonal imbalances, it's oftentimes more where the symptoms lead you in the journey of discovering your own health. So that
Gotcha.
means that once you do experience, for example, bloating or periods during, well, pain during your periods or other symptoms, and those can come at a very wide age range, right? So some women, they struggle with PMS, so they will for sure know that there is something happening with their bodies that is just not making them feel comfortable, and or it can extend into other more chronic conditions like endometriosis or PCOS. And that's where probably more knowledge come into place, or more education comes into place, and that's where we also usually try to step in as well to provide the information around it. So I guess it's there is definitely an understanding of that hormones impact women,
Hmm.
but to what extent and how they interact with what we eat, how we sleep, how we manage stress, right? There is definitely a big gap of knowledge.
Yeah, I think myself as a husband and many husbands out there can attest. Um, and I mean, listen, this is it makes sense, because it, I think the women body, and obviously, no, I'm no expert here, but it goes through a lot of changes, especially like I'm not sure if you guys focus on um, you know the in postpartum era, for lack of a
Mhm.
better term, but like this is where I feel like a lot of this can happen. So do you guys focus, I know you guys mentioned menopause already, but for the younger the younger women who are still having kids, etc., do you also have specific blends for them?
Yeah, so we don't have a specific focus on postpartum at the moment, but if we're talking before perimenopause, before you're 40, our focus on premenstrual syndrome, so PMS, and endometriosis, those are two big populations, right? So anyone who has a period can experience some type of a PMS symptom.
Understood.
And with endometriosis, for example, being a patient of endo myself, the major population that finds they get the diagnosis with endo is actually during the time when these women are trying to get pregnant, because they realize that, like, hey, you know what, I'm trying, I'm not getting pregnant. I don't know why. And then they start discovering that, oh gosh, I could have like certain conditions that were not diagnosed years prior. And endometriosis patients, it's on average 7 years to get a proper diagnosis.
Wow. And
Mhm.
why does it take this long? Is it just like a misinformation out there? Like, what is it?
It can also be that there's a lot of overlap with various other conditions with endometriosis. It's more of a
And I'm
game.
sorry, Emily. Can we even just do backtrack for 1 second to explain to our listeners what this condition actually is before diving into that?
Yeah, so endometriosis is a condition where you can have various like cysts or lesions within your body. It's not specifically in the reproductive area, it can actually be anywhere. That's a big misconception, too.
Hmm.
And these endometriosis lesions can vary. It can be from stage one all the way to deep infiltrating endometriosis. And all of these level stages can come with various symptoms, such as pain, meaning not just pain during your period, it could be pain during intercourse, it could be chronic pain. People
Hmm.
have, gone on disability due to the fact that they can't actually get out of bed. So everyone's level of pain differs with endo, for example. There's a lot of other symptoms. It could be bloating, but the difficulty with endometriosis and fertility is that you, especially being in your 20s to 30s where you're actively trying to get pregnant, you're searching for these answers of how come I'm not getting pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
How come my doctor didn't diagnose me with this? It's because they basically have to cancel out other diagnoses before they get
Mm-hmm.
to endo. It's more of a symptom based diagnosis. You tell them
Gotcha.
how you feel, and if you test negative for a lot of other scans or blood work, they'll kind of just go based off of your symptoms and how you feel to get to the endo diagnosis. And it's really hard. We don't have a ton of specialists in the US.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And it also includes a laparoscopy to be able to get a proper diagnosis. So it's a quite an invasive surgery
Yeah.
to begin with. So in order to get there, you really need to be able to see a specialist who understands that this could be the trigger to your symptoms experience.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, so shifting it, and thank you for all this background here. Shifting it back to your product. So I think we can all agree here that the supplement industry can feel very crowded. So what stages are you guys are at right now? Are you already providing supplements to patients? And like, how do you set yourself apart?
Well, that's a great questions. So I guess first is that it is true that there's a lot of supplements out there that target towards also hormonal health, really focusing on women's health. So there was no, that was not really kind of where we saw also a need to provide something primarily at Herbio. Instead, it kind of was led to our own issues and our own
Mm-hmm.
challenges. And I guess that's also what makes her bio so unique is because of our own experience of not being able to get the personal care that we needed in our own situations. Where, for example, me having had my baby, I was experiencing atypical postpartum depression symptoms. So they weren't something that the doctor like immediately was able to just detect and be like, okay, this is your treatment. I went through quite a lot of visits, and even then I wasn't able to get the treatment that I felt would really cater to my own challenges and my own set of symptoms. And so this is where the whole journey started, to do a lot of research and understanding, okay, what are the main triggers of my personal symptoms. And the more research I was doing with the support of my husband, the more we saw that there was just nothing there that would focus on just your unique sets of symptoms. You would get a very much like one size fit all solution,
Mm-hmm.
and wouldn't cover some certain symptoms which were very unique to me. And on top of that, we saw that I wasn't the only one who was experiencing that. In fact, over 1 billion women worldwide are
Wow.
affected by some sort of symptoms of hormonal imbalances. Yet, oftentimes, the ultimate solution you hear from OBGYNs is to get on contraceptive pills,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the way how they interact with our leading hormones like estrogen, progesterone. But it kind of just suppresses symptoms. It's not that it helps
Yeah.
from within. And that's where we started just looking into what could be ingredients out there, natural or non-natural, that can help with the symptoms and the root causes of them, rather than just kind of like to cover it all and assume that something will work, right? And
So
so, yeah.
I'm sorry, quick interruption here. Do you guys, to understand the imbalance, is a complete blood count normally the right test to determine if you have the right level of hormones or whatnot? Or how do you determine if you have that imbalance?
So there's multiple different ways that it's tested. So if you want to go a medical route, that is, for example, through blood tests, there's urine tests, there's swab
Hmm.
tests. So there's many different approaches to get that, right? Your
Okay.
thyroid could be tested. That is one approach to it. What we do at Herbio is we allow you to actually indicate your symptoms first, and
Mm.
then really prioritize your main health goals. So we do not go through a diagnosis through a medical test, but actually allow you to just indicate your symptoms. And we have a proprietary algorithm that then looks through the symptom set, and then makes a recommendation of ingredients that would help with those particular symptoms.
So
So that is our approach.
I mean, this leads us to, like, the main topic of this podcast, which is AI. So you mentioned that you have that tool, that software. Is that automated, or how does that work?
Yeah, it is automated, but it is
Mhm.
a so we did is just case scenarios, right? So where we allow the algorithm just to look through the symptoms that are indicated and then
Mhm.
make the recommendation based off the ingredients that we have on hand in our inventory.
Gotcha.
But so that's pretty much set. So there's no fluctuation. We cannot be getting recommendations outside of the ingredients that we have right now on hand.
Of
Mhm.
course. And so I would assume that this tool, you guys worked with an engineer or a software engineer to get that created, and then this is what you use pretty much whenever you have a patient, you put their symptoms in, and then the AI really comes up with a blend for you guys. Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And what would you say, like, your biggest challenge has been since you guys have started doing this? By the way, when did you start?
We launched in June of this year.
Oh,
Mhm.
awesome. Congratulations. So yes, what would you say your biggest challenge has been so far since you've started?
Yeah, Emily, do you want to go
It's like, hey,
ahead?
hey, hey guys, I'm drawing a blank. So Emily, you go. I
No,
love
no,
it.
I know we are very well aware. That's why it's like, where do we start, just to kind of
Where
like share and not
Yeah, yeah.
overwhelm.
Of course.
Yeah, I think, especially being a bootstrapped startup, you're trying to think about efficiency of what you can do with, for example, automating certain things.
Mhm.
Um, I would say, specifically from my end, I am not a web developer. Okay, Alina knows I
Mm.
struggle with this so hard. I get so much like anger sometimes with just web programs. I'm a nurse at my core and I deal with humans constantly. So then when you're dealing with technology, you're like, why doesn't this work?
So
I don't
so
understand.
so
Like this doesn't make
when Emily's dealing with her bio, Elena, I hope you have her blend of her bio ready for her.
Yeah, right next to my desk because there's a lot of issues. Okay, so a really good one is finding marketing. That's a very big challenge that we kind of currently are trying to work on and feel like we constantly work on.
Mhm.
And it's a lot of figuring out what kind of marketing tools will attract the customer, what kind of ads, what
Mhm.
are we really looking for to hook a customer
Yeah, yeah.
into our website, into our product, but get them past just the quiz taking stage and to the actual purchase stage.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I
So
mean,
I
listen,
I think that's like for me one of the biggest things.
Mhm.
that's a good one. That's a good one, and we'll talk more about this in a minute. And what about on your end, Alina? Anything to add, or?
Yeah, well, I would say really it's just being able to improve the customer experience, so the user journey. So that is, for example, if we were to be able to automate how customer segmentations are led through our website, through our quiz pages, the checkout pages, and being able to automate certain features like the newsletters, or if there's any other ways we can improve the customer experience,
Hmm.
that's something that I would definitely see lots of benefits for
Gotcha.
our side of business. Yeah.
No, definitely makes sense. I mean, it's just the two of you, huh? A
Mhm.
team of two, huh? So do you
Yes.
guys have any? And I assume you have a developer in the back end that handles, like, website edits, etc. But in
Mhm.
terms of, like, marketing and getting yourself out there, making the decisions on what the customer journey should be, this it's only the two of you,
Primarily
right?
us. Yes, we do have
Okay.
teams who've been helping us on different type of projects. We're currently also in the process of hiring someone who would help us with SEO and ads.
Hmm.
Exactly, but it's us as the core team.
Gotcha. Okay. No, I mean, listen, to your point, startup is the startup life is tough, but I think this is the most rewarding experience because I think what you guys are doing is awesome. There's obviously a need for it. And it's just a matter of like getting through the initial stages. But once you do, I think the sky's the limit. So speaking of which, like, what's next for you guys? Just launched in June. Do you guys already already have products out there? Are you making sales already? Like, tell me more about the current situation and what you guys envision for 2026.
Yeah, so we do have already, so the personalized blends that's already launched, so that's live. People can enter the quiz and get their recommended blends sent to them to their house. We also have now started like a pilot where we've created 4 off-the-shelf ready-made blends. So we are also allowing women, if they want to just like get one blend instead of getting something personalized right in their hands. So we're doing also offline events where we're just showcasing the product. And I would say for 2026, we're just really looking into being able to grow our audience, just being able to have more women try out the products. We would also love to expand our inventory just to be able to cater to more conditions, more symptoms that women might be experiencing, that being that also postpartum or prenatals or other conditions like PCOS. That's something that we would love to do. And then eventually in the future, one of our biggest dreams would be also be able to provide diagnostic tests so that we're also leading through the education of their actual hormone tests to be able to provide even more precise blends for their needs.
That's awesome. I guess I was spot on the sky. It really is the limit for you guys. A lot of exciting stuff coming. Well, I mean, listen, if somebody wants to test out one of your blends, is the best way to get to your website is just her-bio.com, correct?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Well, listen, it was amazing getting to know you guys, getting to know more about her bio. I've learned a lot myself, and I'm sure our listeners have as well. So, again, a big thank you. And I hope that, in the near future, we can get you guys back on there to get an update on her bio.
For
Yeah,
sure. Thank you.
that'd be amazing.
Awesome. Thank you very much, ladies.
All right. Thanks, Carl.